Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And oh, the irony. Oh, the humour that will come from this. But also, the massive expense. The Lord Provost of Glasgow now cannot use her official car to travel to the office because it is outside of the rules of the low emission zone. So she has this massive, great big VW Phaeton that cannot even go to the office now. And that in itself is humorous because you've got the head of this, this organisation basically who can't travel within it in the official car she was given as part of her, package, if you like. And that is the humorous side of it. However, the expensive side of it is that the Glasgow Council actually has hundreds of vehicles that can no longer enter the LEZ. And that is a problem because they will have to be replaced and it will be the taxpayers who will be paying to replace them. What a bunch of morons, and all because they want clean air, although the Glasgow air is already one of the cleanest in the country, and this LEZ has got nothing to do with clean air and everything to do with control. But we'll take a look at this and see why now officials are going to have to walk like the rest of us, or maybe take a bus. Who knows? That won't happen, will it? Here goes. So, Glasgow low emission zone. The Lord Provost's limousine now banned from the city centre. The VW Phaeton is one of 11 million cars on Britain's roads that are no longer allowed into the low emission zone thanks to the brutal new clean air policy. But Glasgow has already got clean air, so they don't actually need it for that. And of course it wasn't brought in for clean air, we all know that. It's all brought in to stop poor people travelling, keep them kettled in their little ghettos. That's what this is. So the Lord Provost of Glasgow's limousine is among hundreds of council vehicles now banned from the city centre under the new low emission zone rules. SNP councillor Jacqueline McLaren, I bet she doesn't drive one of them either, is chauffeured around town in a 3-litre diesel Volkswagen Phaeton. But from midnight she will not be able to use it to get to and from the city chambers or any other building in the city centre. The licence plate has the plate VO, which is not recognised by the Scottish Government's online LEZ checking tool. However, the council confirmed it was not compliant anyway and would be liable for a £60 fine every time it enters the zone, rising to a maximum of £480. I bet that it will still enter the zone, the £60 will come up and that will be paid out of the public purse. That's what I foresee happening there. The VW is one of hundreds of council vehicles that do not meet the new rules, which bans diesels registered before September 2015 and petrol motors registered before 2006. Basically, all these old cars off the road, but poor people own the old cars, and so that just keeps the poor people out of the town centre and keeps them in their little areas. It's all part of the 15-minute cities. It's all part of keeping us, down where we are because we're not the elite. These people need to learn that we are many, they are few, and when a few of them are dangling from lampposts, they may change their minds. The latest fleet list shows the council has 884 diesel vehicles, including cars, vans, minibuses, buses and bin lorries, with most of them thought to be non-compliant. So you're getting on for 1,000 vehicles that need to be, replaced at public expense. Millions upon millions of pounds wasted because of no reason whatsoever, because the air is actually clean enough and doesn't need it. Last year, a Rolls-Royce Ghost, which was given to the city by Sir Boyd Tunnock, sounds like something out of Shakespeare, doesn't it? Sir Boyd Tunnock, and used by the Lord Provost, was sold at auction for $105,000, with the cash going towards children's projects. Treats tycoon Sir Boyd, who owns Tunnock's biscuit business, I do love a Tunnock tea cake, I must admit, said he just wanted to do a good thing for Glasgow when he donated the car back in 2018. However, the gift sparked fury from outraged Labour councillors who described it as a Dickensian and also a form of aggrieved nationalist, still bitter at Boyd's support for the union. That's because he likes to sell his products. He doesn't want a closed market. He doesn't want borders. He's wise. He understands that it will kill Scotland's trade. Ironically, the Rolls-Royce would have been LEZ compliant as the Ghost was not launched until 2009 and is powered by a petrol V12 6.6 litre engine. And this is the stupidity of this zone. I could have a car made in 2005 that emitted virtually no terrible things out the back end. Tiny little engine, 1 litre engine, very clean. And that would not be compliant. I couldn't bring it into Glasgow City Centre. I could bring in a V12 6.6 litre Rolls Royce perfectly fine. Unbelievable. And that's because the people who created this are morons. They did it by age of car, picked it. Let's pick a year. I don't know, 2015. Yeah, that sounds like a good year. Totally arbitrary. No basis in fact. Just an arbitrary year. Rather than, well, let's have an emissions based on a metric we can do. How much crap's coming out the back end. Oh no, that's too hard. Well, it does involve us thinking about it. And being the SNP, we're not good at that, are we? This thinking malarkey. We'll leave that to other people. Presumably people who do homework. Anyway, the council did not sell the G0 registration, which itself is said to be worth several £100,000. The VW Phaeton has the V0 plate, which is equally valuable. I think they should be made to sell those plates and just put on normal, bland plates, like the rest of us. Sell those plates and use the money for public good. Thomas Kerr, the leader of the Scottish Conservative group on the City Council, said the Lord Provost car doesn't meet the new low emission standards, so they will have to get rid of it. I've spoken to several councillors whose cars don't meet the rules as well. This is a headline grabbing legacy for Susan Aitken to be the first LEZ in Scotland, an example of the tail wagging the dog, with the 10 Greens on the council and a money making exercise after years of SNP funding cuts. Despite last minute legal challenges and a huge backlash led by taxi drivers and also including charities who will not be able to use their vehicles in town, fines will be levied in the zone from today. Technically, similar LEZs are already in place in Edinburgh, Dundee to Aberdeen. Edinburgh, Dundee and Aberdeen, although there is a further 12 months before the fines are applied in those cities. A council city spokesman said the vehicle previously used by the Lord Provost is not compliant and now will be sold on. A suitable vehicle will be made available. Yeah, but basically they're going to have to replace all these vehicles at massive cost just so that she can, go to the office instead of taking the bus like everyone else. Because, we can't afford cars. By grace and favour, we can't. Can we have a nugget of coal on the fire, Mr. Scrooge? I mean, Jesus Christ. What is wrong with these people? They bring in these rules because they're very, very stupid people. It's a money-making exercise, we know that. But it isn't. It's more than that. It's also the control. It is getting those people off the road. The poor. Get the poor out of there. Don't want to see the poor. The poor upset my sensibilities. Let's get the poor in their 15-minute hovels. That's what this is. Well. So hopefully somebody will vote them out when they realise that millions upon millions of pounds of public money will have to be spent to replace cars that are perfectly good, but because they break some arbitrary date rule that was invented off the back of a fag packet. Anyway, I'm rounding off and coming up. It really is government by people with room temperature IQs, isn't it? It's almost as though you've genuinely let the lunatics running the asylum. These people come out with these stupid rules. They don't understand anything about them. They don't look at the costs. They don't look at the implications. And then they're surprised when things go wrong. We're not surprised when things go wrong. We expect things to go wrong because we're not stupid. But then we don't vote SNP, do we? You've got to be pretty thick to vote for the SNP. Why else would you vote for these people unless you were as thick as they are? Anyway, there we go. I shall round off there. I'm not going to drag on about this one. I shall round off there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see and hear, what I do on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, go buy yourself a nice car. They're cheap. They're selling them cheap in Glasgow. And goodbye.